we're sitting down with two people who really are inspirational Central Indiana leaders and have had a tremendous impact on people. Up first, Brose McVey. Brose is the executive director and founder of Ben's Ranch, a unique therapeutic program for young people. Brose, thank you so much for being here.
Appreciate it, Curtis.
Ben's Ranch, it's a unique name. Tell us about it.
Well, it's actually named in honor of my late son. My family battled through about 10 years with bipolar. Ben was diagnosed at 14, and the only thing that really helped him during that time, and it really rebooted his life for a long time, was an experiment where we dropped him off at a remote ranch in Wyoming, purportedly for a few weeks or a summer, and it ended up at an 18-month experience, and it literally reset his life. We later lost him to an accidental overdose that was linked to the disease, but when we did lose him, we'd thought about how powerful that experience was. So we created this foundation, and we've been, trying to put the nuts and bolts together. But what we do today as our first program is we create job opportunities for teens struggling with mental health issues on farms, at stables, and places like Conner Prairie. So it's getting them out of the home, getting them out of isolation, getting them out in nature, giving them the interaction with animals, and just the self-esteem that comes along with learning something new and enjoying that environment, and it's been outstanding. So we're looking forward to growing that both geographically out of our Central Indiana base, but also we're looking at ways we can help schools and do some other things.
It feels like it's kind of an out-of-the-box idea, but it seems to make sense. It obviously worked for Ben. Why are you so passionate about it, outside of obviously the impact that it had on his life?
Well, it was forged a lot by that, but it also built on a value system and just an experience that I think, God made us to get out there and interact and to be outdoors and to be connected with the world around us. And today about 92% of humans worldwide live inside, live in cities, go to school inside.
Right.
We've really taken ourselves out of our environment.
Yeah.
And second, mental health is such that a good doctor, a good diagnosis, a good counselor is great when you can find them, but it's often not enough. As a society, we need to think about what else can we do, not only in the way we raise our kids, but how we educate them, how we come together as a community. And so this is supplemental to the traditional approach. But we find that, there's a combination of changing up their routine, getting them away from stressors, and then the power of being out there interacting, maybe breaking a sweat, handling some physical duties, and then the real kicker is, being around animals. And that is such an amazing impact. That really adds an amazing dimension.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about the horses specifically. When they interact with horses and animals, what is that power? What is going on there? Something is happening,
I wish
right?
we all knew. In fact, we study a lot of literature and research on that very matter. But, one reason it's so powerful for kids with depression, anxiety, and other mental health issues is that animal is immediately vulnerable and non-judgmental. And so there's an immediate sense that young person can care for another living being, but also that they'll be accepted, at face value. And the interaction, the smells, the sounds, the dynamic interaction with another living creature is really powerful. And that's why our therapeutic riding centers exist around the community nowadays, and we partner with them. But anytime we can get a kid out of the classroom learning science in a creek bed across the street at the park, rather than a block building, behind a desk, it brings something that, common sense tells us gives power to those messages.
Are we getting better as a society at thinking outside the box like that? Of thinking, let's go teach science in a park?
I don't want to be a pessimist, but I think we got a long way to go. As a society, we're still sort of coming out of a industrial revolution where we thought if we put everything in lines and in boxes and in routines, into a cookie cutter mentality, we can get more done. And that took us a long way. But I think really we've got to learn that these kids think and learn and thrive in different patterns. And if we can think about how to find that pattern early on in their development and foster that trail, including some non-conventional ways to teach them, to develop them, I think we really have got a long way to go. But we're starting to see some great models, schools being involved with leveraging the outdoors around them. That's a great sign, but there's an awful lot more to do.
And there's a base truth of the fact that not everybody learns in the same way.
That's right.
Even right off the bat, take mental health out of it for a second. Our brains are wired differently. Not everyone learns in the traditional way.
I think that's true, and yet in a strange way, one of the things that we can predict is that getting outside, getting away from the stresses of life. Schools, for better or worse these days, I help promote accountability in schools, but it's a pressure cooker environment these days, especially in an era of social media and so forth, and the social dynamics. So if we can get out of that paradigm once in a while and mix it up, change the people around these young people, it goes a long way. Because the opposite is we begin to show them that as they struggle with something, they're penalized by the world around them, by friends, by peers, by grades, by falling off the sports team, and a snowball effect begins, and it exacerbates what should otherwise be a pretty manageable condition. There's a lot of folks that I know well that are functioning very well with serious mental health, underlying issues, but they're managing them well, and a lot of these kids should be thriving, and instead that snowball means that today suicide's the #2 killer of our young people in this whole society, and that says it all.
Brose, real quick, how can people learn more about Ben's Ranch?
Yeah, visit our site, bensranch.org. We got lots of room for volunteers. We need your help. We're looking for leadership. We have 2 events already on the calendar this year. Come and have some fun with us. But there's always a role for everybody in this one.
Great. Brose, thank you so much for all that you're doing and for joining us.
Appreciate it.